Okay, everyone, so this is the extended version of the reading I started on TikTok in regards to a mini relationship reading, okay? So I pulled a card regarding people who are in a relationship versus people who are single. And by the way, thanks for stopping by to Owlchemist Tarot, where I serve tarot straight up, okay? So if you're new, welcome to follow and subscribe if you feel drawn to and this message resonates. And if you're a return subby, always appreciate it, okay? So on the bottom of the deck, and this is the villains deck, by the way. I'm still waiting for one more deck in the mail, the Alice in Wonderland, and the date keeps getting pushed back. So anyway, the Ace of Cups came out on the bottom of the deck, okay? So a lot of love, a lot of wholesomeness, and again, a lot of compatibility and connection, whether you're in a relationship or single. But for relationship, and I'm going to go ahead and pull some more cards, and then we'll get to the singles. Relationship, we got the Six of Pentacles in reverse. So if you're in a relationship with someone, some of you might, and again, general, might be experiencing that either you or your partner is carrying more weight in the relationship, right? That's not sustainable. Takes two to tango. Takes two to fight. Takes two to make up. Takes two to do everything in the relationship, right? So the thing is that, when the Six of Pentacles, it feels like, the energy's not being reciprocated. So it's like you're doing a lot of things, you're going out of your way, or, in your mind, you're, going above and beyond, or you're doing things because you care about the other person. And it's just either not received, not noticed, or it's like, it kind of feels like you're being a little bit taken advantage of or ignored, which is not good. So let me pull a few cards and see what's going on with you guys in a relationship. And again, this is general, so it may not be for everyone's situation. These cards are a little bit thick. I don't know why. And I put lotion on. What was I thinking? Anyway, give me a second. Okay. Interesting. So, okay, there's a couple messages here. And they're not going to be for everyone, all right? So the first card we got was Temperance. There's definitely a need for some balance. There's definitely a need to have some open conversation, okay? And, the thing with the Temperance card, it's typical traditional tarot card. You're going to see usually an angel who has one foot on the bank of the shore and one foot in the water, balancing emotions and being grounded. Also, this is about your overall mental health and well-being. Not only physical, but spiritual and energy-wise as well. Sorry, it's not even Mercury retrograde, and I'm having a hard time spitting out this message. I feel like you really care about your partner, and you might have been with them or have been in the relationship for a while. But it's almost as if it's like sometimes you feel like you take one step forward, 5 steps back, or you're not in sync in many ways, okay? And again, lots of love there, but some of you might be starting to realize that you need to put yourself and love yourself first too. A lot of people, and I'm not a therapist, I'm not licensed or anything like that, but it always seems as if a lot of people who are not necessarily in a very healthy relationship and codependent maybe, a lot of times it's like they depend on the other person for happiness. And really at the end of the day, you have to make yourself happy, right? Balance is needed because there's some type of heartbreak that's going on with the Three of Swords. This is always a very challenging energy. For some of you, it certainly could be that, maybe this relationship is healing because one of you or both of you were not very faithful in the relationship at some point, or there's lack of trust there, meaning that this person, or maybe you, that you have given the impression or given this other person a reason to doubt your trustworthiness, right? The Three of Swords is also, yes, it can be known as the cheating card, but it also can mean that one person, their energy, their focus, and their desire is being pulled elsewhere. Sometimes it doesn't always have to mean another person. It could be work, it could be a family matter. Maybe there's something else that they're not able to be present with you okay? But I'm going to tell you this, you know, with the Nine of Wands in reverse, I feel like one of you, again, maybe yourself who's watching, is wanting to give up. There is a strong desire, and you're kind of at this crossroads to figure out if this relationship is even worth it, okay? Now, for some of you, this relationship, there could have been heartache and frustration and stress because maybe one or both parties has a very addictive personality. You know, it could be somebody who's all or nothing. And, you know, this would be probably one or two of you. Maybe there's been an individual in your life who has maybe abused alcohol or drugs to kind of cope, and you know, maybe that has flooded into the relationship at some point. But again, for some of you, it could be that there's just somebody is not present. It could be because there was something, you know, happening elsewhere in their life, and or, you know, another person, third party situation. Okay, let's see what we have outcome wise. That card was in reverse. Interesting. Okay. You know, okay, well, this is kind of a somber reading for some of you couples in the relationship, but I think you've tried everything you can think of, but the Six of Swords in reverse is just, it's like you keep going back to the same problems or issues. It's almost like you're not making headway, right? Traditionally, the Six of Swords usually depicts two people in a boat, or at least two people, sometimes three, that are headed out into calmer waters, in a more calmer state. It can mean some travel as well, but I think for some of you that it's just like you never, even though kind of what I said in the beginning of the reading, you find yourself, you know, one step forward and 5 steps back. It's just like you kind of keep going back into this circle of destruction, and you're not really able and haven't yet been able to kind of make this like peaceful, calm, you know, compromise in the relationship. Lots of juggling. And for some of you, not only are you juggling, you know, because of the Six of Coins, that things aren't being reciprocated. For a lot of you, you're juggling more than one job. You're holding the weight of the relationship. You're walking on eggshells. You know, you might be having to deal with kids and family, plus your partner, and not kind of knowing where you stand. So there's a lot of juggling going on, and it's tiring. The Two of Pentacles, you know, a lot of people may not know what you're going through and all that stuff, but I will tell you that this is a type of energy, even though you're a very strong person and you can juggle a lot, doesn't mean that it's sustainable, right? Because at some point, something's got to give. And unfortunately, the Star came out in reverse. You know, the Star, even in the reverse, is still a very positive card. However, I feel like you're starting to realize that your light is feeling a little bit more dim, and the happiness is starting to dissolve, and you're kind of trying to understand, you know, how does this person add value to my life? If you look at this is the mirror, this is the mirror on the wall, right, from Snow White. And it's almost like, do you even mirror your partner anymore? Do you even recognize your partner? Do you even recognize yourself? And for some of you, the hard fact is no. And then the Eight of Cups came out on the bottom of the deck. I think for some of you, deep down, you might realize that there's no turning back. This is not an easy decision, by the way. Not an easy decision. Even though it follows into the Nine of Cups, which is happiness and fulfillment, and really, you know, kind of a wish card, if you will. But the Eight of Cups is that crossroads and that point where you have to be willing to walk away that what no longer serves you. That can be a relationship or person, you know, where you live. It can be a lot of things. In this case, probably your relationship. And understanding that, you know, your happiness is a priority, and it should be. And if the person you're with, regardless of how long you've been with them or how you feel about them, because I know it's not an easy decision. There's a strong connection here. For some of you, it's a family dynamic, right? But at the end of the day, you have to come to the realization that, you know, sometimes you just can't force someone to love you and reciprocate the same energy that you're putting into the relationship. Okay? So I know that was a little deeper than I thought it was going to be, and I apologize if you're going through that. If you feel comfortable, you're welcome to leave a comment. If not, completely respect your business, okay? So for the singles, we got the 9 of Pentacles, okay? Lovely card. This looks like the front or a portion of a royal robe. So, you know, the 9 of Pentacles is all about it is a single card. It's considered that because this is a person who's usually in their space, happy place where they've cultivated their stability. They've really focused on working on themselves, you know, but also their financial and professional sphere. A lot of people who are single right now might be really throwing themselves into those areas and thriving, by the way. And so whether you've been kind of considering, you know, going back into the dating pool and or just, you know, whatever happens, I feel like for some of you, even though that your focus has been, you know, again, building those coins, stacking those coins and building that bag, I think you may not be single for long. So let's see what's coming out for singles. You'll have to let me know if you like this type of reading. I try to mix it up because I don't want it to be a snooze, you know? All right. Okay. Interesting. Okay. Well, okay, let's see here. I'm just going to pull one more card because, oh, goodness. Okay. Well, so first and foremost, I'm taking these 2 cards from the bottom of the deck. We got the Sun in the reverse, which is still a really positive card, okay? I feel like there's a little bit of doubt, you know what I mean? Like, obviously, you know, kind of looking at going into a potential relationship and the whole I don't think it's even the relationship issue. I think it's like just the obstacle of wanting to date, which I don't blame you. It's, you know, it's not the easiest. It's very draining mentally. But you got the Fool card, you know what I mean? So this is very much about, you know, you have to take it for what it is, right? If you're gonna go head first. Meaning that if you're going to go into the dating game, try not to have this back and forth attitude. It's like you're either gonna go in and give it your best, or it's like, don't, right? And either way is fine. But I think it's like you have to get over this, the doubt and kind of the misconceptions, and you're just gonna have to see for yourself, right? A lot of times as single people, we listen to our friends who might be dating, who might be doing stuff, and you're just like, that sounds like a nightmare. But again, I think the Sun card in reverse it's almost like you're having this little hesitation. Like you want to try it, but you're like, I don't really know if I'm ready to dip my toe in the pool yet. But with the Fool card here, you know, again, if you're going to do it, you kind of have to jump off the cliff and realize that you're going to land on your feet. I think the biggest thing to take away here is that as a single individual, yes, it's wonderful when you have your own peace and your own, you know, just kind of the life that you've created, that you don't need someone else. It's like you want someone in your life, right? And it's going to take a special person for that. So you can be selective and you don't have to put up with anyone's BS. And once you identify someone's red flags, you can just say, look, this is probably not going to work out, and move on. So again, it's being present and just taking it for what it is. And it's not putting a ton of this hope and, you know, I'm going to find the next person that I'm going to marry, you know, like you might, but don't put so much pressure on yourself. That's what I'm kind of getting at. You have to be a little bit more carefree, okay? Now, we got the Queen of Cups. So interesting that this kind of came out because, and it's Ursula, by the way. Interesting card to have as the Queen of Cups. I actually don't think I would have chosen her for the Queen of Cups, but I digress. Anywho, the Queen of Cups is a very, very loving energy, very emotionally mature, someone who has a very old soul, okay, usually. And I feel like I'm talking about a lot of you. And I think the biggest thing here is that it takes a lot of strength to sometimes lead with emotion. And for many of you who are in the singlehood, gung-ho, really focusing on that money career, making shit happen, kind of in more focused and more in your divine masculine energy, you might need to kind of shift gears and learn how to transition also in using that divine feminine energy, right? And that does not mean that you're not driven or motivated. That doesn't mean that you're weak or vulnerable. That doesn't mean any of those things. The divine feminine is so powerful. But what I mean is it's almost allowing yourself, like to slip into that part where, you can be compassionate and giving and sweet and kind, and that you are caring and focusing on other people. The one thing about the Queen of Cups, I always tell people, just be aware, is that you don't slip into all emotion and no common sense. Because sometimes the Queen of Cups will, the energy is very inspirational and creative and and it's all about, allowing yourself to really feel music, feel the moment, just be in your feels a little bit more. Sometimes, especially if you're a water sign, you might slip into that where you kind of lose that common sense. So it's not about heart over head or head over heart. It's about learning the balance between both of them. Okay. Now the Three of Wands, I think for so many of you are so driven and have the ability to manifest relatively easily that a lot of things are coming into your life. You're starting to see things manifest that you've been working on, that you want, that you're focused, that, you're in alignment with. And, you can do the same thing with a relationship if you want. It really just depends if you're going to give it an actual shot and you're actually going to be willing to do it 100% like you do everything else in your life, like your career, maybe like your health and wellness, like your other social friendship relationships. Are you going to be able to be as dedicated and driven relationship wise? Because, and just to be completely forthright, and I think all of us have been in this situation, cards aside, a lot of times we'll go back into the dating scene and be like, yeah, so I tried it for like a week and I swiped left on so many people and I talked to, it was weird and you gave up. No one said it was going to be easy out of the gate. And now you might be that one person that finds their forever partner, and that's great on the first, swipe and the first interaction and the first date. Cool. But that's not always the norm. So my question to you singles, if you want a relationship, if you really do, are you going to be dedicated, consistent, and put as much effort into that as other areas of your life? And it's okay if you're not, and it's okay if you say no. And I'm saying that because we got the World card in reverse. And I think a lot of you, this is kind of checking yourself. This is kind of asking yourself, am I going into the dating game doing it half-ass? Am I wanting things just to appear magically without any effort? I think for a lot of you, you've worked on yourself. You've healed a lot of elements of yourself. There's a lot of self-love. You know your worth. You know your value. And if you're not there yet, and you definitely have some inner work to do, hey, take all the time you need, right? But the person that's in the Nine of Cups energy, the person that you usually see in that card in his or her garden, living the lap of luxury, that did not happen overnight. That happened with hard work, dedication, focus, continuing to evolve. I'm telling you, I think there might be some hesitation, right? And even though you have hope, there's still hesitation because there's going to be work involved. But this time, it's more so people. And you can't control other people. It's a tough one, right? I think the biggest thing is that with the Page of Coins in reverse, it's not really all or nothing. It's not. I think it's taking things as you find them. Take people as you find them. And like I said before, for most of you and many of you, don't doubt or forget that you're going to be able and have the ability to see through people, any type of bad intentions or lies, or, you know, if their energy is off, you'll spot red flags. I think you're going to be a lot more aware than you give yourself credit for. And again, it's not about just charging in recklessly. It's not about that. This isn't, I get a feeling for a lot of you, this is not about serial dating. This is not to like go back out there with vengeance. I don't think that's the case here. For some of you, maybe you're like, don't self-sabotage yourself with the 7 of Swords. But also, I think, again, don't doubt yourself. You'll be able to spot those red flags. This is about learning how to read your body. Listen to how you, not even listen, but listen to your intuition, but remember how you feel, how you react when you meet someone. If it feels off, you're probably right. Okay? I think at the end of the day, though, you know, this is something that you're going back and forth on and overthinking quite a bit. You got the 4 of Swords. There's no harm in thinking about things. But if, like I said in the beginning of the reading, if you're going to do it, give it your all, right? Why? You got the Ace of Swords. You know, when the Ace of Swords is in the upright, it really is a good sign. It's a yes card. It's kind of forge forward. You're going to be able to cut through the crap this time, singles. The Excalibur over here. I really feel like this is not the time to doubt yourself. Don't doubt your ability to read people, to read energy, to mirror and match energy. Don't give more than you're going to get. Remember, you didn't get to your place in life without having that skill. Now you just have to transition it into the relationship sphere, the dating pool. Okay? I feel like for a lot of you, you're going to be a lot more successful than you give yourself credit for. I think I already said that. So, anywho, I hope you guys like this reading. Whether you're a single or in a relationship, kind of opposite messages. And again, this is general, but thank you guys so much for watching. And if you're not following me on TikTok, please do so because I post there quite a bit. And we'll chat very soon.